Part 156. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1551. Chapter 1551. Chapter 1379. If you have the guts, say it again. If reputation issues were not taken into consideration, Chiao Mian might have been selected. Asterisk. The casting was held at a famous local 5-star hotel. Chiao Mian and Linda got out of the car and just walked to the door of the hotel when they heard a surprised and disbelieving voice behind them. Chiao Mian? Why are you here? Hearing the voice behind him, Chiao Mian's eyes also showed surprise. She frowned and turned around slowly. Behind her, Chiao Angzhen's eyes widened. When Chiao Mian turned around, he stared at her. It's really you. She stared at Chiao Mian for a few seconds. Her face suddenly darkened. She bit her lip and asked angrily, "What are you doing here?" Chiao Mian looked at her expressionlessly. "Then what are you doing here again?" Chiao Mian was also surprised when she met Chiao Angzhen in this place. She thought about today's casting and looked at Chiao Angzhen again. Chiao Angzhen is also here to participate in today's audition? What am I doing here? Of course I'm here to audition for Director Cheng's play. You can't be here to audition too, right? Before Chiao Mian could answer, Chiao Angzhen sneered from her nose and said in a very disdainful voice, "What am I talking about? How could you come here to audition? It's not that you didn't get the chance to audition. Come here and try to get an audition role. Chiao Mian, I advise you to give up your thoughts as soon as possible. This is not the place you should come. You can come here to audition, why can't we?" Mian, there was an old grudge between Linda and Chiao Angzhen, and the enemies were extremely jealous when they met. She looked at Chiao Angzhen and sneered, "At least our Mian's role is it's easy to get it, unlike some people who have to sell something. Linda has been in this circle for many years and has various connections. Naturally, I know a lot of things in this circle. She has long heard about Chiao Angzhen's accompanying boss Huang. She and Chiao Angzhen had an old grudge, so they naturally spoke rudely." Chiao Angzhen's expression suddenly changed. She glared at Linda with sharp eyes. "Xia Linda, what did you say? Say it again if you dare. Say it again, just say it again." Linda smiled coldly. "Why, did I still wrong you? No one in the circle knows about your things, so how can you pretend to be in front of me? I saved some face for you, so I didn't say it directly. If those words were said directly, it would be ugly." Linda showed no mercy at all, as if she didn't notice that Chiao Angzhen's face was turning green, and continued to sarcastically say, "Some people, if Xinggui hadn't given almost all the good resources to you alone, what a shame. The resources have been supporting you for several years, how can you be where you are today? The same resources have been thrown at other potential newcomers, and they have already become so popular. And some people have just barely made it to the front line. Now that they have left Xinggui, there are no resources to pile up for her. Isn't it just a matter of time? Has the child been beaten back to his original shape? I'm not telling you that, with your acting skills, you're just humiliating yourself by coming to the audition today. I advise you to give up your thoughts as soon as possible and leave here. This is not the place you should be." Linda said to Chiao Angzhen just now what he said was returned. When Chiao Angzhen was still in Xinggui, she was not afraid. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1552. Chapter 1552. You must not fall into her trap. Now Chiao Angzhen feels at ease, and she has nothing to be afraid of. Linda didn't show any mercy to her. Chiao Angzhen was so angry that veins popped out on her forehead. "Xia Linda, shut up." Linda looked at her and smiled coldly. "Isn't what I said true? Some people have no idea of their true level. I would like to advise some people that just because they succeeded once by taking shortcuts, it does not mean that they have succeeded once. I can succeed a second time or a third time. I don't want to study my acting skills and improve myself all day long, I just want to take shortcuts to get to the top. Oh, can something that requires selling oneself last long, and can it be obtained with peace of mind? Look at your own fate now, isn't it clear? Xia Linda, you. Qiao Angzhen was so angry that veins popped out on her forehead, her face was ashen, and she was about to rush up and fight Linda with her fists. How could she bear Linda saying that to her? In her heart, Linda was still an employee of Zhengui in the past and was still beneath her. When Linda was her agent before, she never dared to talk to her like this. For a time, she was so angry that she couldn't care about anything else. Anxiety, calm down. She is impulsive, but Song Fang who is following her is not impulsive. Seeing that Qiao Angzhen was going to fight with Linda without caring about it, Song Fang was frightened, her face suddenly changed, and she hurriedly stepped forward to hold her back. Sister Song, let me go, I'm going to tear her mouth apart. Qiao Angzhen gritted her teeth and looked at Linda, reaching out to push Song Fang away. Song Fang held her tightly and lowered her voice, "Xin, Xia Linda only provoked you on purpose. If you really go over and fight her, you will be fooled by her. She is just an agent, and if you fight with her, it won't have much impact on her. But you are an artist, and you haven't been able to completely clean up your previous black material. If you are photographed fighting with others in public again, this affects you badly. And you are here to audition for a movie role today. The audition will start in a while. What if you mess up all your makeup? You must not fall into Xia Linda's scheme. She just wants to mess up your audition today, so that Jiao Mian can have a chance to audition." Hearing what Song Fang said, Qiao Angzhen became even more angry. She gritted her teeth and said, "That Xia Linda has such sinister intentions. So you must not fall into her trap." Song Fang pulled her away a little further. "Remember, the main purpose of your coming here today is to audition. It's getting late. Let's go." "What's the matter? Let's wait until the audition is over. Boss Huang worked hard to get this opportunity for you, so don't waste it." No matter how angry and dissatisfied Qiao Angzhen is in her heart, she can only endure it. Song Fang is right. This opportunity was something she fought for with great difficulty. In order to get this audition spot, she endured her nausea and used various methods to serve Boss Huang for a long time in those days, and Boss Huang finally agreed. Originally, Boss Huang planned to give this audition spot to another young talent in the company. In terms of fame today, that little flower is much more famous than her. "Let's go, don't worry." Song Fang pulled her again. Qiao Angzhen followed her reluctantly and took 2 steps. When she left, she gave Linda a fierce look and said in a fierce voice, "Xia Linda, I won't argue with you today." End of this chapter. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1553. Chapter 1553. The competition is quite fierce today. I will return this tone, just wait and see. Linda sneered, with a look of disapproval. "Okay, I'll wait. I'll be with you anytime." Now, how can Linda still be afraid of her and Qiao Angzhen? Even if Qiao Angzhen relies on Boss Huang, so what? The boyfriend of the artist she works for is still the president of the Mo Corporation. Boss Huang is a scumbag in front of President Mo. You are not even qualified to tie Mr. Mo's shoes. Qiao Angzhen was pulled away by Song Fang with a dark face. Linda said softly in the direction she left, "What do you think you are? In order to become popular, even a perverted old man like Boss Huang dares to speak. He is really cruel to himself. Just wait and see, you will regret it sooner or later." You deserve to have this day, retribution. Chiao Mian silently glanced in the direction where Chiao Angzan left. Is that boss Huang a pervert? No, Linda said with a bit of schadenfreude. Everyone in the circle knows that boss Huang is a famous pervert. There were also female artists who were crippled by him. Chiao Angzan even dared to hook up with such a person. And he is generous enough. Actually, if you think about it, she is quite pitiful now. She must also know very well what kind of person boss Huang is, but for her future, there is nothing she can do if she doesn't risk everything. If there are gains, there must be losses. Everything is hers, my own choice. Hearing this, Chiao Mian was silent for a few seconds, then nodded and said, "You are right, no one forced her. Since it is her own choice, there is nothing to be pitiful about. Okay, let's go." As soon as Chiao Mian and Linda reached the elevator entrance in the lobby, Chiao Mian received a call from Qin Han. On the phone, Qin Han asked her where she was and said that she had already arrived at the hotel. Chiao Mian told him that he had arrived at the hotel, and Qin Han asked her to wait, saying that he would arrange for someone to pick her up. Asterisk. A few minutes passed. The people arranged by Qin Han arrived downstairs and took Chiao Mian and the others upstairs. The audition took place on the 28th floor of the hotel. After getting out of the elevator, Chiao Mian realized that there were far more people coming to the audition than she had imagined. Furthermore, there are many first and second tier artists. Most of them are first tier artists, then second tier artists, and almost no third tier artists are seen. It's not that third tier artists are unwilling to audition. It's because such a big production has not yet had their turn. This shows how big the competition is. Chiao Mian looked at the artists who were preparing to audition, and then looked down at herself. She suddenly discovered that she was the least famous among all the people who came to the audition today. She is not even considered to be on the 18th line. No matter how good Chiao Angzan is, she can still be considered a front-line person. For a moment, Chiao Mian felt pressure. Before coming, she felt that she had little hope. After coming, she felt that there was absolutely no hope for her. She thinks her only advantage is that her acting skills are pretty good. However, among the artists who came to audition today, there are many capable actresses who have won the Best Actress award, and there are more than one or two. There are 3 of them who have won the Best Actress award. These actresses Chiao Mian all know each other. Whether it is appearance, strength, or fame, they are indeed very powerful. When Linda saw so many first and second tier actors coming to audition, she couldn't help but sigh. The competition is quite fierce today. Mian, don't be too stressed, just do your best. You won't get the role this time, it's nothing, just come to see the world. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1554. Chapter 1554. I really have no self-awareness at all. When Linda said this, she no longer had any hope for Chiao Mian. Too difficult. Before coming, she had thought that Chiao Mian had a glimmer of hope of being chosen. But now, even several movie queens came to audition, and the chance of Chiao Mian being selected was almost zero. Linda was a little disappointed. This movie is a big budget movie, whether it is the producer, investor, director, screenwriter. All the supporting facilities are top-notch, and it is aiming for a box office of at least 1 billion. Even if the lead female lead and the second lead female lead have no relationship with Chiao Mian, as long as she can appear in it for a minute or two, it will be very good. But now it seems that he will not be able to show his face for a minute or two. Linda felt disappointed in her heart, but she couldn't show it to Chiao Mian, so she had no choice but to say some words of encouragement and comfort. Of course, Chiao Mian knew that her chances were slim. She nodded and said, "Well, I'll do my best." For Chiao Mian, after feeling that she had no hope, she felt a lot more relaxed. There is not so much pressure anymore. She now has the mentality of coming to see the world. This time she came to see many big-name celebrities, which she felt was a gain. The appearance of Chiao Mian caused many people to look sideways at her. Seeing a new face, many people commented curiously, "Who is that? Why haven't I seen it before? You look familiar, are you a newcomer? But newcomers can't come to today's audition, right? It looks familiar to me, as if I've seen it somewhere. I remember, he's really a newbie, just the newbie who was often on the hot searches some time ago. She's really a newcomer, then she has a lot of background, so she can participate in today's audition. I heard that she has a very rich and powerful boyfriend. Her boyfriend and Gong Xiaoyanshao both know each other. You think he has a small background? It turned out that she got here through connections. But it's useless for her to have connections. Who doesn't know that director Xia is famous for hating people with connections? She relied on connections to get the audition spot, but whether she can succeed in the audition is not determined by connections. It's up to you. Yes, director Xia hates people with connections. If you don't have any acting skills, relying on connections is of no use. Just wait and see. People with connections like this really have no self-awareness at all. It's really funny to think that you can get roles just by relying on connections. Chiao Angzhen was also among the people auditioning. She was stunned for a moment when she saw Chiao Mian, and then the corners of her mouth curved into a mocking and disdainful arc. She walked slowly towards Chiao Mian. "Chiao Mian, you are so embarrassed to come up. Have you seen now that the worst people who come here to audition are second-tier artists? You are an 18th-tier artist, don't you feel irritable standing here? Are you panicking? How likely do you think you are to be selected? I really have no self-knowledge at all." Chiao Mian glanced at her, with a faint smile on her lips. "I secretly got married to a super boss." Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1555. Chapter 1555, Is She Out of Her Mind? The man who brought Chiao Mian and Linda up walked to Chiao Mian and reminded him loudly. Chiao Angzhen looked at the man, then at Chiao Mian. Her face was a little ugly. She bit her lip and asked, "Who are you, and why did you put Chiao Mian's audition first? We all follow the order. Why did she jump in line?" Chiao Angzhen's voice was a bit loud. So many artists waiting in the corridor heard it and looked towards her. When Chiao Angzhen saw someone watching, her voice became louder. "If you are a staff member here, shouldn't you explain why Chiao Mian can be first in line for the audition? She is blatantly relying on connections to jump in the queue. Is it fair to others?" Song Fang's face turned green as soon as Chiao Angzhen said this. "I just cursed idiot secretly in my heart." Although other people were also dissatisfied with Chiao Mian, a well-connected person, they all felt that Chiao Angzhen was extremely stupid for her behavior. Even if Chiao Mian is a related household, she can't say it directly. And if that man is really the staff member responsible for the audition, no matter what, he has the right to arrange who will audition first. Even if others are dissatisfied, they cannot speak out. This Chiao Angzhen not only said it, but also said it in front of the staff. Is she out of her mind? If she offends the staff, isn't she afraid of problems in the audition? However, it's not a bad thing to let such idiots come forward, since it won't have any impact on them anyway. They are very happy to watch such things as if they are watching a play. One less competitor is not a bad thing for them. Song Fang stood behind Chiao Angzhen. After Chiao Angzhen said that, Song Fang turned green. She immediately reached out and pulled Chiao Angzhen's arm. Chiao Angzhen turned around with a frown and saw Song Fang winking at her. That look in his eyes was telling her not to cause trouble. But Chiao Angzhen couldn't bear the mood in her heart. She didn't listen to Song Fang. After turning her head back, She looked at the staff member angrily and said, "Should we be given an explanation for this kind of thing? It's too much to blatantly let her jump in line." Behind him, Songfang's face turned green, purple, and she was no longer able to stop a fool like Jiao Angzhen. She knew that Jiao Angzhen was not a smart person. "I didn't expect to be so stupid." Songfang now began to regret that she would bring such a stupid artist as Jiao Angzhen. She originally thought that Jiao Angzhen had a certain reputation. Boss Huang was still new to her and she was willing to praise her. Jiao Angzhen had been banned for a while before finally getting the job, so she would definitely cherish it. She thought, she could still hold a handful. Unexpectedly, Jiao Angzhen turned out to be such a fool, without even a brain. With such an IQ, one cannot go far at all. Songfang regretted as much as she wanted at this time. She might as well choose to bring a new person instead of bringing along such a fool. Losing her job is a trivial matter. If she accidentally offends some big shot, her manager will also be in trouble. The staff member was also stunned for a while, looking at Jiao Angzhen with a somewhat stunned expression. He looked at Jiao Angzhen for a few seconds, then frowned and said in a deep voice, "Are you an actor here for an audition?" Jiao Angzhen has not noticed the crisis yet. She looked at the staff and looked indignant. "Yes, I'm here for an audition." End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1556. Chapter 1556. You have been disqualified from the audition. So I am very dissatisfied with this phenomenon of openly using the back door to jump in the queue. I believe it's not just me who is dissatisfied, but everyone present today will also be dissatisfied, right? When Jiao Angzhen said these words, no one responded to her at all. She is stupid, and others will not follow her. Since Jiao Mian can use this back door, it must be with the consent of the people above, and it will never be decided by a small staff member. Who dares to offend the higher UPS? When Jiao Angzhen saw that no one responded and stood in line with her, she was stunned and suddenly felt a little panicked. At this time, I realized belatedly that she seemed to have done something she shouldn't have done. But it's too late. After she said those words, the staff's face turned completely dark. "Miss Jiao, please wait a moment." The staff ignored Jiao Angzhen, but turned to Jiao Mian and said, "I'll take care of something here, I'll be ready soon." After finishing speaking, he said to Jiao Angzhen, "I will report what you said to the superiors." The staff left quickly. Jiao Angzhen thought that the words she just said had an effect, and she couldn't help feeling proud. She raised her head and looked at Jiao Mian triumphantly and said, "I just can't see an unruly person like you. Do you think it matters? You have to follow the rules." Others also started talking after the staff left. Is this also possible? I thought she must have offended someone by being so stupid. I didn't expect it to be like this. However, it's really refreshing to watch. I can't stand people using the back door either. Ha ha ha, it's quite refreshing. I'm an 18th tier guy, but I still want to be the first in line. There are so many seniors here, and there are no rules at all. She relies on men to think she is invincible, and even her seniors don't take her seriously. It's good to have someone to take care of her. Don't think that Jiao Angzhen is a good person and is helping everyone to get justice. He is just jealous. Oh, what do you say? One of the members of Lao Wang's harem group a few days ago, someone said they saw her and Lao Huang going abroad in broad daylight. The two of them were on the beach. So disgusting. Speaking of which, Jiao Angzhen's predecessor was the CEO of Xinggui. How could he say that to Boss Huang? Oh my god, I heard that Boss Huang has a special hobby. Can she bear it? For the sake of your own career, you have to bear it even if you can't bear it. In that case, I think Xiao Mian is much better than her. At least the boyfriend she is looking for is a tall, rich, and handsome man, with not to mention good looks and figure, and he is still young. He is 1,000 or 10,000 times better than serving Boss Huang. If you can find a rich, handsome man, who would want to serve Boss Huang like that? A group of people discussed it for a few minutes, and then saw the staff member who had just left appear again. The man walked directly to Jiaoan. When Xiao Angzhen saw him, he immediately put on a menacing look. How about it, have you told your superior? Has he told you how to deal with it? Well, we have reported it to the leader. The staff member smiled, and then said calmly, Miss, the leader asked me to inform you that you can leave. What? Xiao Angzhen was stunned, then dumbfounded, and asked again uncertainly, what did you say? Miss, you have been disqualified from the audition. Please leave immediately and do not affect other people's auditions. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1557. Chapter 1557. Sorry, I didn't mean it just now. Songfang's face is as ugly as she wants. Other artists were surprised at first, and then thought that this was normal operation. Xiao Angzhen heard it clearly this time. She opened her eyes wide in shock, was stunned for a few seconds, and said in disbelief, why do you disqualify me from the audition? Just because the leader said he would cancel you. What kind of leader? Which leader? I don't believe it. Xiao Angzhen finally got the audition spot, but she was not willing to give it up easily. She said with a dark face, you must have made the decision without authorization and avenged private revenge. I don't believe it. You called your leader, come out and ask him face to face. The staff member lost patience in his eyes, and the expression on his face began to turn cold. Who are you? You can meet Director Chen whenever you want. Security, take her away immediately. No irrelevant personnel will be left here. Immediately, two security guards came forward and said in a very bad tone, Miss, should you leave on your own, or should we invite you to leave? The word please is said in a very strong tone. Anyone who is not a fool knows that the security guard does not really mean to ask her to leave. Xiao Angzhen can understand the true meaning of this word no matter how slow her reaction is and no matter how smart she is. Her face looked particularly ugly for a moment, she bit her lips tightly, and her eyes turned red the next second. With red eyes, she looked at the staff member pitifully, without any aggressiveness. Sorry, I didn't mean it just now, and I didn't mean to blame you. I just don't like Xiao Mian, it's not. This opportunity is very important to Xiao Angzhen. She doesn't want to lose. It wasn't until the staff called security to drive her away that Xiao Angzhen really panicked. She was afraid that she would really be driven away. She was afraid that she would lose this opportunity. On one hand, I was pretending to cry, but on the other hand, I was really scared. However, no matter why she was crying, the staff remained unmoved and said to the security guard expressionlessly, why are you still hanging around? Take her out of here immediately. The security guard did not dare to delay any longer. Seeing that Xiao Angzhen was unwilling to leave, he stopped being polite to her and stepped forward directly, holding her on both sides. Miss, please get out of here. He said please, but whether Xiaoan wanted it or not, the two of them picked her up and took her towards the elevator. In public, with so many people in the circle watching her being driven away, Xiao Angzhen suddenly felt that she had lost all face. She struggled and said, let me go, what are you doing? Why do you do this to me? I'm going to sue you. Let go, do you hear me? Songfang also felt that she had lost all face. She was angry and angry. Xiao Angzhen, this stupid pig, finally got the audition spot, but she was so stupid. How could she, Songfang, Think of taking such a stupid woman with her. With such an IQ and EQ, it is just like what Linda said. In the past, it was all thanks to Susie who spent resources to support her. If she relied on her own ability, she might not even be able to make it to the 18th line. There were whispers all around again. Songfang had no shame in looking at anyone anymore, so she turned around and left in despair. Asterisk. Now that Jiao Angzhen is gone, this episode is over. The staff member turned around, looked at the others expressionlessly and said, anyone else who has an opinion or is dissatisfied can express it at once. Other actors. Is this still human talk? End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1558. Chapter 1558, this Jiao Mian is really strong in the background. How dare they say anything else? What's more, there is no one in this group of people as stupid as Jiao Angzhen. Okay, I almost gave up on the audition. It's really stupid. Since everyone has no objections, let us maintain the original arrangement. After the staff member finished speaking, when he turned to talk to Jiao Mian again, his tone was much more polite. Miss Jiao, I've been waiting for a long time. Please follow me. Bring it on. Jiao Mian nodded, and then left with the staff. Seeing this scene, others couldn't help but sigh in a low voice, this Jiao Mian is really strong backstage. Even Director Cheng's assistant is so polite to her. I wonder who her boyfriend is to have such dignity. That man just now was Director Cheng's assistant. Director Cheng is famous for being a bitch, and his assistant is also very aloof. For her assistant to treat her like that, her boyfriend must be very cool. Her boyfriend is already very powerful, right? Even young Master Yan calls her boyfriend boss. Although he has never revealed his specific identity, but think about it, someone who can play with young Master Yan, Gong young Master and the others must have a good family background. These are all evenly matched. According to what you said, she may not be able to get into the audition. Although Director Cheng hates people with connections, if her boyfriend is particularly powerful, Director Cheng wouldn't dare not show off his face. While the discussion was getting heated, a formal staff member came out and informed, please invite Miss Shenfei to come in for an audition. Shenfei is one of the actors who came to audition today. Shenfei is about 30 years old this year, which is not too young. She has won 2 Best Actress awards. Her acting skills are recognized as good both inside and outside the circle. When Shenfei was informed to go in, everyone else was surprised and said, are 2 of us going to audition together? 2 people are auditioning together? The one who just entered was the newcomer. Doesn't that mean that Shenfei and the newcomer are auditioning together? Ha ha ha, Shenfei is a person who has won double Best Actress. In front of her, the newcomer must not be eliminated in seconds. Turn into scum. I wonder if Director Cheng did it on purpose. She came here because of her connections, and Director Cheng couldn't just say no, so he arranged for her to audition with Shenfei. By then, there would be a reason to say no to her. That being said, it's probably true. Asterisk. Audition hall. When Jiao Mian learned that 2 people were auditioning together, she kept guessing who the person auditioning with her would be. When she saw Shenfei walking in, Jiao Mian had a surprised expression on her face. She naturally knows Shenfei. Double actress, a real powerhouse. Jiao Mian has watched many TV series she acted in, and she admires Shenfei's acting skills. She knew that most of the people who came here today were powerful people. But she still didn't expect to arrange for Shenfei to audition with her. At the judges' table, sit the producers, directors, and screenwriters. Seeing Shenfei come in, the director greeted Shenfei and said, a new person has been arranged to be paired with you. Do you have any objection? Shenfei pursed her lips and smiled, Director Cheng, what opinions can I have? You should ask the little girl if she has any opinions. Shenfei seems to be very approachable, just like the news on the internet said, she is a big shot with no pretensions. Hello, my name is Shenfei. Shenfei walked up to Jiao Mian and stretched out a hand. Jiao Mian quickly stretched out her hand and shook it back. Senior Shen, hello. My name is Jiao Mian. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1559. Chapter 1559. He mentioned it to me several times. Shenfei raised her lips and said, Jiao Mian? So it's you. Jiao Mian thought this sounded strange, blinked and said in confusion, Senior Shen, you. That guy Qin Han told me about you. Shenfei didn't hide it, she was very direct, he mentioned it to me several times, which made me very curious about you. I finally met you today. She is indeed a very spirited little girl. Jiao Mian was stunned again. Brother Han mentioned me to you. Then, what did he say? He is always praising you. I rarely see Lao Qin praising someone so much. He said that you are a junior he admires. He told me that you were born to be an actor, with high understanding and aura in acting. The future is limitless. He also said that if I work with you in the future, let me take care of you more or less. As Jiao Mian listened, her face felt a little hot. Did Qin Han actually praise her like this to Shenfei? This praise made her feel a little embarrassed. Brother Han really said that? Of course, Shenfei chuckled, otherwise, could I have made up these words? By the way, don't ask Lao Qin. Shenfei stretched out her hand to give Jiao Mian a hand and whispered in her ear, Old Qin is a thin-skinned person. If you know that I said these things to you, he will definitely cause trouble for me. From now on, he won't tell me anything. Jiao Mian couldn't help but laugh. Okay, I won't tell him. Then you promised me that you must not tell him, Shenfei said while complaining about Qin Han. Old Qin is very arrogant and doesn't want people to know when he praises others. But he really appreciates it. I rarely see him praise anyone like that. I believe that people who are favored by Lao Qin will definitely not be bad. So for a while, you can be more confident, don't have any worries, and just perform well. Since Lao Qin recommended you to come, he has confidence in you, and so do you have confidence in yourself. Do you understand what I said? Jiao Mian was a little surprised. Isn't she acting particularly unconfident? Shenfei could see it. However, Shenfei's words were of great help to her. The moment Jiao Mian saw Shenfei walking in, she was indeed a little nervous. Not confident enough either. Shenfei said this, and her psychological pressure was much reduced. She never thought that Qin Han would have such a high opinion of her. She thought, Qin Han helped her so much, no matter whether she could be selected or not, she would have to perform well in today's audition. Senior Shen, thank you, Jiao Mian said sincerely, thank you for telling me so much. I will give my best. You're welcome, Shenfei said with a smile. Lao Qin and I have been friends for many years. I like the juniors he admires. I really hope you can be chosen. Anyway, come on. Shenfei made a cheering gesture to cheer her up. Okay, this audition hall has become a place for you to make friends. The director also knew Shenfei, so he spoke very casually, if you have any questions, you can talk about it in private later. Let's start the formal audition. Shenfei is not the first one, it's just an audition, I don't need to say anything more to you. Xiaolin, please tell the newcomers the rules. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1560. Chapter 1560, has looks, acting skills, and resources. The man who came out to pick up Xiao Mian just now is the director's assistant Xiao Lin. Xiao Lin walked over and took a stack of paper to Xiao Mian. You just take one of the papers and perform according to what is written on it. The performance time is 5 minutes. Xiao Mian looked at the stack of papers and took out a piece at random. She lowered her head and saw a plot written on the piece of paper she drew. It is a crying scene that shows the heroine's sadness after losing her relatives and lover. 5 minutes of performance, not a lot of time. There wasn't even much time for her to brew her emotions. Xiao Mian quickly memorized the lines and heard the director ask, "Are you ready?" "Well, director, I'm ready." Xiao Mian felt that she was lucky today. The winning performance was actually her best crying scene. For others, it may be difficult to shed tears for just 1 second. But for her, this is definitely not a difficult thing. Even Bai Yisheng once said that her most touching scenes are her crying scenes. So crying scenes are an absolute strength for Xiao Mian. "Okay, let's start," said the director. Shenfei stepped aside. Xiao Mian stood in the middle of the audition hall. The moment the director said that she started, she took a deep breath and closed her eyes. When she opened her eyes again, tears fell instantly. The expression on his face also changed in an instant. In just a few seconds, her tearful eyes revealed a variety of emotions including pain, despair, and collapse. Her whole body suddenly collapsed to the ground. Why, God, why are you so cruel?" Xiao Mian, no, it should be said that Bai Yan, the heroine in the play, shouted heartbreakingly, "Why do you want to take away all the people I care about most? Come on, why are you so cruel to me? Father, mother, brother Shangguan, why don't you take Yanner with you? Yanner is in so much pain. Yanner doesn't want to stay in this world to bear the pain alone. Without you, what's the point of living in this world for me? Why don't you take me with you, why?" Tears slid down the corners of her eyes one by one, making her face wet. She raised her head again, and there was no trace of blood on her face. Her face was extremely pale, and her whole body was shaking. Her expression of extreme grief was so contagious that it made people's hearts clench together. You can really feel her grief. Seeing this scene, the director and screenwriter looked at each other with a little appreciation in their eyes. Even Shenfei on the side nodded, thinking that Qin Han had really good vision. This girl's performance is indeed very spiritual and contagious. It doesn't look like the acting of a newcomer at all. Even better than many so-called old people's acting skills. Sure enough, just as Qin Han said, this girl will definitely become famous in the future. Have looks, acting skills, and resources. It's hard to think about it or not. Shenfei, like Qin Han, both have mentors and mentors for their younger generations. Of course, it must be the younger generation they admire. If they meet someone they think is good and can help, they will help. Because they are all newcomers and have met seniors who are willing to support them. After finishing the last line, Bai Yan reached out to wipe away the tears on his face, and tremblingly picked up a sword from the open space beside him. End of this chapter.